$1.5 billion liquidated from the crypto market in the past 24 hours. One of the worst days that we've seen in over a year.
Here's the thing. It could get worse from here. Like,
way worse.
It could get worse from here.
It will.
It could get way worse. It's going to.
With Bitcoin not only losing the 100K, but also losing to 90K, currently sitting at $88,000. Solana, the front runner of this down spiral, with a lot of scams, and Ethereum getting hit with a Bybit hack that was also $1.4 billion. So let's talk about it. Why did all this happen around the same time? What's going on? What's causing the crash? Is it going to get lower? Is it going to recover? Well, hopefully you find all of that out in this video. So with all that being said, let's dive in. So I am definitely going to hit the macro and wider Solana news, but I just have to say that I am just not sure that the Solana unlocks were priced in like everybody said they were. The largest unlock is happening now. It's in February, and then March triples February. So with 2.5 billion Solana that was purchased very early is going to be unlocked. And what that means is people, these VCs and individuals and a lot big money bought in really, really early and aren't allowed to sell until a certain date. Well, those dates in 2025 happen in February. So they're happening right now. And then they happen in March. And then after that, it simmers off a lot substantially. It goes from 3 million to 9 million. This is Solana. This is not dollars. This is not USD. So this is actually substantially more in US dollars. So I just do not think these were priced in. But on top of that, there's a lot of other news that's crashing the market. On top of that Bybit hack that I made a short video on top of the Libra, the whole like situation with the same person launching the Melania Trump token and all of that. So let's look at everything else that's going on. I actually labeled this all in a bookmark for you. This one's short, so I'll also go on to this one next. So market maker Wintermute has been withdrawing large amounts of SOL from Binance. And again, massive sell-offs. Let's click on this and you'll see 1.3 million sold, 1.2 million sold. And this has just been like all day. My face is blocking it, but there's another 2 million, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million. So like literally like millions and millions of dollars just on this one screenshot. But they were selling for hours yesterday. I mean, they began selling and withdrawing for hours on this and basically just crushing the price. And this is the market makers. But we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this huge crash during this thread that I'm going to break down. So basically, this was talking about 325 billion being erased to the market cap since Friday morning. We're actually at a much darker place now. This was just last night at 8:52 p.m. So what caused this? So there's a couple things in this thread that I think stand out over others. One of the ones is it is weird that hours after Citadel made a major pivot on their crypto stance, Bloomberg announces that $65 billion Citadel Securities is looking to become a liquidity provider for Bitcoin and crypto. Clemente made a breakdown video on this. I want to play it in just a little bit. I'll probably play that towards the end of the video if you want to stick around and watch that. But market took this as a sell the news event, talking about Ken Griffin's market making giant Citadel. That's just basically the announcement. It's a clear pivot from the firm's previous cautious stance on crypto, making Citadel Securities has limited presence in crypto trading, has steered clear of exchanges frequent by retail investors due to lack of regulation around the U.S. Again, wait until later in the video. I will break this down for you using a pretty funny video. I already spoke about the Bybit hack that happened earlier. So when I made the short video on it, there's still information being released, but it was confirmed that it was North Korea, meaning that it's going to be very hard for them to get the funds back. Now, they did have backup funds. I think they had to take out a few loans, but they basically got all the funds back within 24 hours, which is extremely impressive and just shows you exactly how much money that these exchange have to be able to cover that $1.4 billion in the matter of 24 hours as like not even like an S tier exchange as Bybit. Another thing that I want to point out is that the stocks, like the S&P 500, had a huge sell-off. And I mean, we always want to pin the crypto market separately than the stock market, but that's just not the case. You see the stock market boom, you hope that crypto tails. Vice versa, usually when the stock market traces back, crypto gets hit pretty heavy. So, I mean, the stock market could even see like a couple percent pullback. That's why we saw 10% in the overall crypto market pullback in the last 24 hours, which is substantial. And again, like, is it going to recover? Like, how are things going to look from here? I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. One of the last few things is I don't think this had as much of an impact as people said it did, but It was just like a cherry on top. Sam Bankman-Fried came back, FTX scammer that leveraged billions of dollars in customer funds, is now in prison. Came back from prison after 2 years of not hearing from him because he's in prison, and had a long thread talking about how to manage employees, how to run a business, how to do this. What I personally think is in that thread is that he's trying to make a case similar to Ross Ulbricht, where like maybe it wasn't fully his fault, it was mismanagement of business, and try to decrease his sentence. That is my complete guess on that situation. You can go to @SBF_FTX, read the thread, and come up with yourself. I don't want to spend too much time on that. There was later a fake account created of this SBF saying it was him on a new arc, launched a meme token, ran it to 10 million, and completely pulled the plug on it. So that's what was kind of happening in the trenches last night. So overall, there's just a ton of things that are pushing crypto lower. Another thing that's not even on this list is I just think when the market is falling like this, we kind of lose that general sentiment and trust. And I do think that goes a long way, especially when trying to get things like a Bitcoin strategic reserve, trying to get these newer ETF filings, trying to get more government support. When the price is up, things look better. They feel more safer, more comfortable. When price goes down, they feel riskier. People lose money. Sentiment goes down. I think that's a big part of this that is overlooked. One of the last things is that I like, and that the way I like to view this was a comment on this thread actually. In reality, $700 billion of the 3.7 trillion crypto market has been wiped from its peak. Simply a correction. And that's where like I'm not big on a TA. I'll be honest with you guys. I do TA a lot, but just to like zoom out a little bit. I mean, if we just go to like the max and you go to last cycle, we actually had this like double top happen. So we had, and now the dates were slightly different, but we basically had this peak in April-ish, maybe March of Bitcoin. We had a huge correction from 55 to 32. It's almost a 50% correction, and then back to a new all-time high. Now, I'm not saying we're going to do this, but like it would not be surprising if Bitcoin saw 71K to have a similar pattern. Now, we can't predict these perfectly, and there's a lot more at stake than just like trying to guess on this. But my main point of saying this, I'm definitely blocking this with my face. My main point of pointing this out, though, is the fact that 10, 30, even 50% corrections in the middle of a bull market are kind of normal and expected. I remember I lived through 2021. I was trading a lot during that time, and it was to be expected. So it wouldn't surprise me or scare me as much if Bitcoin goes down to around 71,000, but you just never know. It could recover instantly. It could not recover, and we could be choppy for 6 months. We could be choppy for a year. I do not have a crystal ball, and anybody who claims to is lying to you or trying to sell you something. But with all that being said, let's hop over to a funny video explaining the Citadel situation. And on top of that, if you made it this far in the video, I just want you to let me know. You can leave 2 words down below, your choice. Just either say bullish or bearish. I want to know your general sentiment right now, how you're feeling. So leave that down below in the comments, and I'll call it out next video and for you leaving that. So let's take a look at this video.
Let me explain. Right now, in a pre-Citadel world, there's 3 leagues you can compete in. League number 1 is the majors. This is where you're up against people like Larry Fink and BlackRock, the institutions. And roughly 10% of the pie is available for profit for some of the very, very best traders that have found their edge, doing the best TA, finding the proper buys and sells. They're surgical with it, but there is money to be made for the best. League number 2 is the altcoins. This is where you're up against people like Ansem. You're up against some of the VCs. And roughly 30% of the pie is available for the top performers. League number 3, this is meme coins and NFTs, the highly speculative market. 50% of the pie is available after the casinos come in and they take their fees. You're up against Frank, you're up against the LA Vape Cabal, Cupsy, Orangey. It is possible to beat them, but it's still difficult. Now, what happens when Citadel gets called? It's not pretty. It becomes 1 league and only 1% of the pie is available. Why? Because they brought out the All-Stars. They got LeBron James. They got this long legs, daddy long legs looking motherfucker who's lanky. He'll come up on him, boom. Impossible to guard. They got this ditto looking ass motherfucker. He can shapeshift. He can literally turn into whatever he wants, so he's literally impossible to guard. Then they got this mad scientist looking ass motherfucker. He'll electrify you. He brings out his little gun, boom, zzz. You're frozen, you can't do anything, and he just comes right by you, boom, lay it. Once Citadel gets their dirty, dirty chops involved in this league, it is over for the fabric of everything we've come to know and love. Strap in, it's gonna be a doozy.
All right. I mean, I have to give a round of applause for that. That was a performance. See you guys next video.